Falaflahiatu, good evening. Leading our news bulletin for tonight, a firearm incident on Saturday night landed one notable member of a community in prison for a couple of days. Police confirmed the offence took place on Saturday night from a residence in the village of Makefu. Chief of Police Tony Edwards said the incident should not have happened, but it was unfortunate that it did.
When an incident relating to firearms, it becomes a serious situation where police will attend and deal with such situation. So, with its seriousness, whether it's discharging a firearm close by, within, it becomes serious to the police.
Now, was this just a domestic incident?
Yes, this incident took place, just a domestic between husband and wife. I guess it just went a bit out of hand, and it was unfortunate that the incident took place, involving a firearm. So, it shouldn't have come to that, but eventually it did come to discharging the firearm.
Chief Edwards said everyone on the island needs to be aware of the laws regarding firearms.
The laws of firearm, every person that holds a firearm remains, and everyone is aware of the laws of firearm, and they have been taught about how we need to keep our firearms safe. But I think it's just part of ignorance of every member who has a firearm to look after their firearms. But police will be taking a stance on how firearms are kept in houses, and we will take every step to make sure that every person that holds a firearm is deemed to hold one. So it's for the safety of everyone, and everyone needs to make sure that there are laws in place regarding firearms. So we will take a stance in this. We will make sure and ensure that every action that that people go or do with firearms, we will make that person accountable for his actions, and that's my stance as in the Niue Police, and my staff will be fully aware that we will not tolerate that sort of action, if it's regarding firearms. So my advice to the public is that if you use firearms in any way, we will take a stance, and you will be accountable for your actions. And our responsibility is to make sure that everyone is safe, and we will continue to do that.
This morning, the man appeared before the magistrate for a bail hearing. Chief Edward also wants the public to ensure firearm laws restrict any persons from firing within 100 meters of residential homes. He said the police can assist with livestock if necessary, especially during events where a number of animals are slaughtered within the vicinity of residential areas and people. More information can be provided by the police department regarding the use of firearms. Work on ridding the island of the toxic asbestos materials has resumed after a short break. Workers at the Hui Hui storage site have expedited the storage of asbestos into containers for the next phase of the project. Associate Minister overseeing the project, Honourable Dalton Tangalangi, said the work at Hui Hui is awaiting more containers for the storage. However, contractors are also collecting from villages ready for storage. The decision to rid the island of the toxic material has also yet to be determined. Once the occupied homes are all addressed, the project will also look at the derelict homes endorsed by owners for demolition. The project was hindered previously when some homeowners of the derelict homes requested a relook into the government's proposal. Honourable Tangelangi said they envisage the project to be completed in a few months' time. Niue's Secretary to Government Richard Hipper told a meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, that Niue is like other Pacific Island countries and is already implementing an integrated approach to addressing disaster risk management and climate change. He made the statement at Niue's experience with parliamentarians from all over the globe at a side event to discuss the topic, legislation and governance for disaster risk reduction in Geneva. He told the meeting when officials deal with all scenarios, they are dealing with people. For the government, Niue have a 5-year national strategic plan. Everything that it does needs to align with that plan. He also said that whatever the government plans on MDGs is also applicable to disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. Without the planning and commitment, not just the government but other stakeholders as well, including the people and their communities, the process will fail. The island's national disaster plan engaged widely with the communities on the island to involve them in the preparations of plans for villages, communities, and even government departments. The National Disaster Council convened a workshop for all the councils and reviewed their roles and responsibilities. Every year there is a campaign from October to April, the island cyclone season. Mr. Hippa said while plans are in place, government must ensure they are practical and achievable. The other priority project is investment in Niue's public infrastructure. Some of the projects to address disaster risk reduction include the relocation of the primary school to higher grounds. Telecom Niue has identified the cause of slow internet speed on the government server is that the large amount of multimedia files that have been downloading clogging up the server. The government G1 network was upgraded in October of 2010, and its IT policy identifies that no personal data, such as photos, music, movies, or games, as well as other unnecessary files, are not permitted to be kept on the server. The connectivity problems became apparent at the beginning of March of this year. IT staff has spent the past few months going through the system to find out what is slowing it down. Director of Telecom Tutulihaka has reminded all on the government network that all multimedia files that have been downloaded and are not for government or Niue purposes stored on the server will be deleted. According to the government's ICT policy and strategic plan that is in place, a reviewed version will be released hopefully in the new year to ensure that public servants are aware of the principal guidelines, that activities conducted on this network are in accordance with good governance. Telecom Niue have also indicated that in future, if any large files downloaded will be automatically deleted, and any staff who continue to download or store non-work related files will be denied internet access on the server. Niue Power will be continuing with work to renew black power boxes this week. The project to renew the aging black power boxes began last year, starting with the village of Makefu. However, the corporation has had to work around their major cabling project and find time to complete the project according to the work schedules and funding. This project is funded from the NZ8 Asset Management Program funds to renew the black boxes from the village of Makefu all the way to Mutalo. Niue Power General Manager Speedo Hetitu says that the ongoing faults and complaints from those on the northern side affected by power cuts prompted the corporation to look at renewing the black boxes. Another reason was that over the years consumers have increased their use of appliances and joints also needed to be renewed. For the next 2 days, the village of Tuapa will be affected with scheduled power shutdowns to allow work to be carried out for maintenance repairs to the electrical connections. Areas that will be affected are those living around the Village Green area heading northwards, and this shutdown will be ongoing from week to week until further advice is given. But the overall project is expected to be completed by October. Niue's netball season got off to a good start last Saturday with much excitement for Niue primary school students, putting on a great display for parents and teachers. There were a total of 6 mixed teams from Niue Primary School who fronted up to show off their netball skills. And the day started off with a blessing from Reverend Hariasa Faitala, followed by words of encouragement from the patroness of netball, Honourable Vainga Tukitonga. As the day progressed and teams played off each other, it was Team 5 versus Niue Primary School Team 1 in the finals. But in the end, it was a draw with 5 points each way. But it was a worthwhile event, as there were also special prizes sponsored for the day. The youngest players for the girls and the boys went to Jasal Mgoya and Jason Mokale. The best shooters for the day went to Shatina Siakimoto and Richard Siatanga. Best defenders, Alita Pingia and Tristan Siohane. Best overall players Emma and Kefutoa Siatanga. However, for the overall competition that will start this afternoon with 3 Niue primary school level teams, and there are 7 senior village teams registered. All games will be played on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. And according to Niue Island Nipple Association President Ngatu Tukutama, if all goes according to plan, the season should finish at the end of June or beginning of July. But that will also be dependent on the availability of teams and their commitments. That concludes our news bulletin for this evening.